Hi, I'm Andre.
And I'm Lillian,
We are a Polish Brazilian couple
living in Brazil
and
and
renovating
renovating
a
a
whole
whole house. Today, in the renovation of the house, we brought a video about this, how to cover this gap between the door and the wall. Always there is a little gap, and if you try to cover this gap with regular mud, this mud that you use to make the walls smooth, or even the whatever you use to file the door, it's gonna crack because these kind of products, they become hard when they dry. So you need something more elastic, because what happens, the wood, the concrete, they expand, they contract, and if it's something hard, it's gonna crack, and later when you paint, the paint is also gonna crack, or it's gonna fall off the gap. So there is a product that I consider the best to do this kind of job. That is the acrylic sealant or acrylic caulk, because it's kind of elastic. So if you have some contraction or expansion, it will go together with the wall or the door, and then it's going to stay there firmly. And another advantage of this product is that you can paint over it, so it's very nice to use. You can even use another elastic component, but some of them, like what we call here in Brazil PU for construction, it's kind of very hard to give a nice touch. And with this acrylic sealant, it's very easy for you to give a very nice touch. Here's what I do. First of all, you are gonna cut the beak of this sealer in 45 degrees, because it's easier to apply. Then you put in your caulking gun and you go applying it. Even if you have a very firm hand, you are gonna shake sometimes, and then you are going to see some kind of belly, it's not gonna be very smooth. Since Andre wasn't with me at the time I was applying the product, I made some mistakes. It's my first time doing this job. I had seen Andre applying it before at my sister's house to hide these imperfections exactly, but he has a very firm hand. Whatever he applies already gets almost the way it's gonna be, so he doesn't care much about fixing it later, but he has very firm hands. It's not my case, and I believe it's not the case of most of us. So the first mistake, you can notice that the tip of the tube is full of product, and if you leave that dirty with product, when you are applying the product, it's not gonna be straight, it's gonna smudge the surface, and it happened while I was applying it. But the final result, he said it was okay, and that's the way it should be done. Before we continue showing the video the way I applied this acrylic sealant, there was still a door here that I didn't apply this sealant, and Andre decided to show me the way he does it. So I'm gonna show you the way he humiliates me. Let's watch it. stuck up. Ay, ay. Oh no, look at the way it gets perfect. Look, it doesn't even need to do anything. Oh no, look.
That finger.
So do it. You can wet it. He's going to give it the finishing touch using the fingers. He's gonna wet his finger and use it to make it really smooth. It's nice to see how Andre is old-fashioned style. Old school. Nah, water? What for? I have my tongue. So please guys, don't do this at home, okay? He does that, but you shouldn't do that because it's really horrible taste, and besides that, you never know, it can do you some harm. But you know, I cannot say anything here. He does the way he thinks is the best, but I don't advise you to follow this. As you see, this is what we expect to do when we watch somebody doing that. Looks like so easy, but when you really get the thing to be done, you see it's not that easy.
Here it's. Okay. I didn't see this.
Perfect.
Okay.
Humiliating me. Oh, yes, you are. But guys, look how perfect it got. You see here this pink stuff? This is not the caulking, okay? It's because the person who lived in this house painted this wall pink and ended up painting the frame of the door to the door frame too. So you see this pink color here is not the caulking. The caulking is the white one in the middle. Look how nice it got, how perfect. My goodness, it's amazing. Jeez, that's the way we expect it to be, but that's the way it doesn't get when we don't have any practice. Yeah, guys, watching the way Andre did it looks so easy, but I can assure you it's not that easy. So let's proceed with the video with the way I did, with all the difficulties, but I could do a good job in the end. The result got nice as his. Okay, maybe not so nice. Let's continue to our video. So what do I do to make this thing very smooth later? I get water, and I water my finger and I go giving it a touch, giving it a very smooth touch. And if it gets not nice, I put more water in my finger and I try again to give it a very, very, very nice touch. And why is it important to do while it's not dry yet? Because later when it gets dry, you won't be able to give this nice finishing, filing it, because you cannot even file it. Since it's like an elastic substance, you cannot file because it's kind of a rubber. It will, if you file, some parts will get out of the place. It's not gonna be smooth. Some parts will be taken out. So it's very important that you do this finishing, this touch, while it's still wet, and you do it with a lot of water. You can try to do it maybe with a sponge. It's possible. I prefer my fingers. I used gloves right now because you see my nails are painted, so I don't want to spoil them. Women stuff. But if you don't want to use a glove, you can do it with your fingers, with your bare fingers, no problem, because this kind of sealant is not gonna glue so much to your fingers. Yeah, it's gonna glue a little bit. You have to rub with a sponge, wash sometimes, but it's not toxic. It's not something that's gonna crack your skin. It's water based, so it's okay. It's not gonna do you any harm. It's only a little bit more difficult to take it out from your hands later, but it's not so hard. So very important you give this finishing, and after that, you just have to paint your walls normally as if you were going to paint without it, no problem. And if your doors are in the wood, you are just going to put some veneer or something. It's not going to be paint. It's the color of wood. I suggest that you use some tape, adhesive tape, to protect the door, and you are going to see it's gonna be very nice. Later you just have to paint. So let's take a look at the door before applying the product and after we apply the product. I believe it gets much nicer, don't you agree? And guys, since we are starting our channel, I ask you to subscribe to the channel, give us your thumbs up, comment, because we are just starting and we are renovating this whole house. Soon we are gonna also build our house and we wanna share everything here in our channel. So it's very important for us if you can cooperate with us, okay? So see you next video. And greetings to all of you from Brazil. Bye-bye.